Okay, in this video I want to talk about an issue that concerns women. And if you're male, I know some males watch my channel. Don't watch it. Have some courtesy. Don't be like the creepy guy who hangs out in the women's lingerie department in the department store. Don't do that. So anyway, in this one, what I want to talk about is PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. I'm not an expert. I'm not a healthcare professional or provider. Just my experiences. And along that line of women's hormones and stuff like that. Okay. Now, when I first started this channel, that was one of the topics I really wanted to focus on was, menopause, given my age and symptoms of it, what I've experienced, not as an expert, like I said, just symptoms of it. Okay, pardon if this gets choppy because I got allergies going on here. Yeah. Anyway, and one of the things that I've noticed is I don't know of any women who are around my age. I'm 53. I'll be 54 next month. Who had polycystic ovarian syndrome, and what happened, have discussions about when they hit menopause, or, going to perimenopausal, being perimenopausal, and then going into menopause, and what it was like after that. Did they take the same medication? I know back in the way I found out about it was because of an online, they call them listservs back then. Now it would be more like Facebook discussion groups, but it wasn't on Facebook back then. This is in the 90s. I don't think Facebook was around then. But anyway, women were talking about this one medication that I take. I'm not suggesting it to anybody, but metformin. And around that, what happened first was I heard about, I was reading this polycystic ovarian syndrome. Didn't know if I had it or not, but I was reading that. I can't remember. That was so long ago. It could be the other way around. But basically, it all came together at one time. The doctor putting me on a medication for type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, and it was the wrong one, and I wanted to eat everything in sight. Told her, a friend of mine read a magazine, an article in Cosmopolitan, something about hormone hell. There was some TV documentary, I think it was on 48 Hours or something like that, called Hormone Hell. And all of these things came together. I told my friend told me about that magazine article. She said, "This sounds like you." I read the article, and the medication that was in it was the one that the doctor had just switched me to, which was metformin. Glucophage is the brand name. And so it all came together at the same time. Well, I started taking that medication, and everything just changed for me. Even the time that I slept, what time I would fall asleep at night. I used to be a night owl. I started taking that medication, and immediately, I started sleeping at a regular time, falling asleep at around 10 o'clock. I might make myself laugh because I had just moved. When I started taking the medication, when I got it, I told Adam about it. He was living in California, and I went to live with California with him. And yeah, California is, 2 hours behind? So that could be it. Yeah, funny how it takes years to think about stuff like that. But anyway, truthfully, overall, I would go to sleep like in the morning, okay, instead of at, a decent time. That's one thing that changed. But anyway, where I was going was, that was back in the 90s, and I don't know of any women nowadays that have been on that medication. What do they take now, once they're postmenopausal? Because I wasn't taking it for that. I was taking it for insulin resistance, but what it worked was to make cycles normal, menstrual cycles normal, to the point where I said that I'm a stereotypical woman, like a stereotype. Like somebody sat there and said, this is what women should act like. Not saying it's a good thing, saying it's not a good thing. But yeah, everything was like a textbook, okay, or a stereotype, a negative, just, kind of thing. But once you hit post-menopause, once you've gone through those 12 months of menopause, I don't know if the 12 months are considered menopause, or some say it's the moment of the end of that 12 months is menopause. It's just a moment, and then you're over it. After the 12 months, it is. I told you allergies would get to. Okay, this is a jumbled up mess, isn't it? Maybe I'm catching a cold. Anyway, I don't know of any women who have been through that, and if you see groups online these days, they're like, what is it, Twitter, maybe Pinterest, Facebook, and they're mainly young women, really young women, who talk about having PCOS, and a lot of them are about having babies. I know when I got on metformin, a doctor at my university, when I moved back to Texas and went back to graduate school, she told me, she said that I was very fertile because of this medication, and she also said that it would put me through puberty again. Yeah, I was 35 years old then. Okay, and imagine 35 years old and your doctor saying, she actually put it this way, welcome to puberty. She told me it was going to put me through puberty again, and it did. Imagine, age 35. So I'd already been through it once, but yeah, when I was like 12 or 13, whenever it was, I don't even know, it was a long time ago. So I'm kind of rambling about this. Yeah, it's just my experiences. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. So, but if you are an older woman, you've experienced this, leave a comment below. Talk to you later. Oh, and by the way, I do plan on making more videos like this. Somebody actually mentioned it to me, and I do have a video. Somebody mentioned something about it, these kind of things, and I used to make them, like I said, and I do have a video, but I'll go into that later on another one. I think I'll just make the video over the topic anyway, but I'm going to do it. Maybe I'll get better at pulling it all together. You think?